Hey guys, what's going on? Jeff here from Films at Home, and today I've got a really exciting 4K review to do for you. I just got this in the other day. I had to jump through some hoops to get this early. This was a pretty guarded release. Not a lot of the press contacts out there were willing to talk about this one, but I wormed my way in there and I found out how to get one. And today we're going to talk about Apocalypse Now, the 40th anniversary 4K UHD Blu-ray. I'm super excited to check this one out, talk all about this awesome packaging that it came with. I honestly didn't know what to expect. The packaging's unbelievable. We'll get into the video, the audio, which I have a lot to talk about with this release, and then as well as the packaging and all of the special features. Let you guys basically know if this is worth an upgrade over your existing Blu-ray or DVD. I will bet that it is, but we'll see what happens. Before we jump into that, please remember to subscribe to the channel. If you want to be updated when new videos like this come out, make sure you turn on notifications. And I appreciate everybody who has already subscribed as we climb to that 13,000 and above mark on subscribers. I'm super excited to keep growing. So without further ado, let's jump into this review. So one of the first things I'm going to do, and call me crazy, but I don't keep these cards, whatever they're called, on steelbooks and stuff like that. So I'm just going to neatly, I'm just going to peel those off so that we can talk about the movie without me having to hold this crazy cardboard all over the place. But yeah, so I was able to watch this. I watched the final cut because from what I understood, that was the one that they did the most restoration work on, and that's really the version of the movie that I like the best. And so I popped it in, I checked it out on the projector and on the 4K TV to give myself a couple visual points to compare to, and I'll tell you what, this is an incredible picture. So before we get there, let's talk about the restoration. Apocalypse Now, surprisingly enough, even on Blu-ray, was never actually fully restored from the original negative. So this is the first time that they're taking the original negative, the original film prints, and they're restoring that into 4K. With that being said, this should be the best it's ever looked. Francis Ford Coppola, he supervised this with his team. He has like an in-house production team, and he supervised the remaster. They spent a ton of time with it. They worked with Dolby, so it has a full Dolby Vision HDR, kind of a new color scheme there, and they spent a lot of time, and this did hit theaters before it came to 4K. But really, props to Francis Ford Coppola, his team, and Lionsgate, because they put a ton of work into this, both from a visual and audio standpoint, which I'll get into in a little bit. Now, the visuals, they are exactly what you would hope they would be. They're incredible. There are a couple moments where it got a little soft. Chapter 14 on the final cut was one area I noticed that, oh, okay, this isn't as great as the rest of it. But from the minute the movie opens, I was blown away by just how fine the detail is. You're going to have grain here. Remember, this is shot in 1979, shot on film. And so there is a grain, but this is, and it's not that they smoothed it out. It's just that it was so well done at the time, and now remastering it to 4K, the detail is so tight. It is so perfect. I honestly, I feel like I'm crazy saying this, but I don't know that I've seen a 4K remaster that looks better than this. This is what 4K should be all about. The color scheme is a little different from the Blu-ray. It's color graded a little differently. But again, you've got to consider that this was supervised by the director, and he's overseeing what the film looked like in his mind, and using Dolby Vision and new HDR techniques. You are going to get a little bit different of a color grade, but it wasn't distracting to me. I've watched the movie maybe once on Blu-ray, and so when I popped this in on 4K, I didn't say, oh my God, this looks completely different from the Blu-ray. It's distracting, blah blah blah. It looks really nice. The colors are really bright. Deep blacks. There's a lot of darker scenes in this, stuff that takes place at night. There's also a lot of great color. Explosions, napalm, the whole thing. And then the greens on the uniforms. And the whole movie sort of has a greenish yellow tint to it almost. But those looked awesome. I have nothing but good things to say. The detail and the resolution here, this is by far the best the movie's ever looked. And I see no reason why you shouldn't be grabbing this immediately. If you're a fan of this movie at all, you're not going to beat this. It's just so well done. You can tell they put a ton of time and effort into it. And I just absolutely was blown away by how good it looked. This movie looks brand new. It does not look like a movie that was shot 40 years ago. When I watch something like Close Encounters of the Third Kind in 4K, I can tell that movie's 40 years old. I pop this in, and I bet to the untrained person who doesn't know movies, they might tell you, hey, that movie's probably 10, 20 years old. There's no way you would tell that it's 40 years old with the way this looks. So from a visual standpoint, this is a home run, and it may be at the very top of my best 4K list in terms of visuals. Now, talking about the audio, also an area where Francis Ford Coppola and his team spent a ton of time. And so there's some interesting stuff happening here with the audio. First thing, it does have a Dolby Atmos track, and it was, again, restored from original negatives. Francis Ford Coppola, I read some stuff online with his team. Basically, there were things they wanted to do when they made this movie with the sound, and the sound's already incredible, but the technology limited it. And so being able to work with Dolby Atmos, they were very excited because it truly gave them that experience they were hoping for in 1979. And the Atmos effects are great. Think about how many helicopter scenes are in this movie, explosions happening overhead, gunshots all around your screen. You know, it's a war movie. And so any war movie, especially ones with, the Air Force getting involved and helicopters and planes and the B-52s and all that stuff. You know, it really takes full advantage of those height effects. And then the music was great. It sounded so clear. Dialogue was perfect. Not enough good things to say about this. And I feel like I'm just, well, what's a review when you get a perfect 4K copy? But this is exactly what 4K is all about. The other thing they did with the audio, which is kind of cool, and this was technology that literally made its public premiere with the theatrical release of this this year, the theatrical re-release of the 40th anniversary, was what they're calling Meyer's Sensual Sound. And so I don't love the name. It's a little weird, but basically what it does, and I've talked about this in other reviews, there are certain frequencies that your ears can't actually hear, but your body can feel, if that makes sense. Lower frequency stuff. They do this a lot in horror movies. It kind of instills this sense of dread. So they put in a really, really low frequency, and you don't hear it, but your brain immediately starts to tell you something bad is coming. You need to get out of here. It's what kind of heightens that sense of dread in a horror movie. What they did here was Francis Ford Coppola, again, took advantage of that, but took it to another level with this sensual sound technology. He's got it down to very, very, very low frequencies. And so in order to get the full advantage of that in your home theater, you're going to want a really good subwoofer. If you have a home theater in a box or you have a $100 subwoofer, you're not going to take full advantage of this. My subwoofer from SVS Sound, it's high quality. It's a premium subwoofer. And, can I say for sure that it was able to take advantage of it? It's hard to say because I can't actually hear what's happening, but you feel it. And so Francis Ford Coppola and his team were quoted in a couple of articles I read about the remaster, about how when the B-52s fly overhead or the Valkyrie helicopters and that whole thing happens in the movie, that they wanted you to feel them coming first and get this sense of, I need to run, I need to get out of here. It triggers an emotional, response, a fight or flight response in your body. And then you'll actually see the planes and the helicopters come through. You'll see the danger, but you'll feel it before you see it. So that's like super cool. Again, this is like new technology. How well is it going to work on every person? I don't know, but I've always talked about your heart gets racing sometimes during those horror movies and during intense action sequences. And, I've always said they put those low frequency bass, sound scales in there. And they've done it to the extreme here with this new technology. And I think that's a really cool, kind of experimental thing. But I'm super excited to see if that transforms into something else. And this makes perfect sense to use it on Apocalypse Now as the guinea pig. Now, let's talk about the packaging, which is also beautiful. You got premium audio, you got premium visuals, you got premium packaging. So, again, it's going to come wrapped up in this kind of cardboard sleeve, which I did pull off. I don't keep them on my stuff. Some of you guys might. But it's a really nice set with beautiful, beautiful artwork all around. And then on the inside, there's even some artwork. And then you've got your 6-disc set. So this is going to be even kind of hard to fit in the frame. But you got 6 discs, and I believe that 2 of them are 4K. Yep, so you've got the final cut in 4K. And then you also have Apocalypse Now, the redo in 4K. And then you've got the Blu-ray disc for, again, the same 2 movies, same artwork. And then you've got 2 discs here dedicated just to special features, of which there are a ton of new stuff on this release. So I'll get to that. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. You see on the 4K disc itself, there is a Dolby Atmos, Dolby Vision, as well as the Meyer Sound, Sensual Sound. First disc I've ever seen that on. So that's, maybe that's something we'll see more of. But overall, really excellent packaging, super premium stuff. It is just kind of a cardboard, but it's, it's a higher quality cardboard. The one thing you're going to watch out for, and this happened to me during shipping, might be hard to see, but got a little dinged up on the side because it is just cardboard. But this will look great on a shelf or as a display piece if you wanted to open it up. It's going to look super cool. So now for the special features, I should also mention there is a digital copy here of both versions of the movie. So now special features is just too much for me to remember. I'm literally going to read these off, but there's 5 hours of features, featurettes, interviews, audio commentary, photos, all that stuff. That's all been included on past releases, but the brand new special features are that the final cut version on 4K has an intro from Francis Ford Coppola, which is brand new. There is a Q&A with Francis Ford Coppola and Steven Soderbergh at the Tribeca Film Festival from this year, where they premiered the 4K remaster. There's also super 8mm behind-the-scenes footage they've included. Apocalypse Now remastering a legend in Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos. So a huge featurette on how they went through this whole remaster from both visuals and audio. And then Apocalypse Now, a 40-year journey, and Dutch Angle, which is another little featurette about the movie. So, it's crazy how much. You can kind of see the list here in the back, but it's crazy how much stuff this includes. And the nice thing is also on the Blu-ray disc, it also includes Hearts of Darkness, which was included on past Blu-rays, but it is still included here. So if you upgrade, you're not losing that. Overall, just really premium stuff. Even, the disc art's really nice. I love the artwork all around the front and the back. The colors on this give it this weird, I don't know, it's got this weird 80s neon vibe to it, but I'm kind of digging it. And it's an awesome release all around. Visuals, audio, packaging, special features. I don't know how you can go wrong, especially when Best Buy is selling this for $22.99 on release day. That's the price I saw when I Googled this. I think that's insane. I would have expected this to be, God, I don't know, $40, $50. If you're getting it for $20 to $25, this is absolutely a must-have 4K disc. This is a 4K disc that if you're a collector and you're a movie fan, you're going to want to show off to people. This is the true reason why you should get into 4K, is stuff like this. These older movies are just killing it, and when the remaster is done correctly, and Apocalypse Now is no exception, and it is, in my opinion, the finest of all the different 4K remasters that I've taken a look at over the past couple of years. So that's it for this review. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I'll leave a link down in the description where you can check out Apocalypse Now, the 40th anniversary 4K. Give it a purchase, pre-order it if you want. It comes out in a few days after this video will be released on August 27th. So keep an eye out for that in your stores. I'm not sure how popular it will be in stores. I have a feeling places like Best Buy and maybe Target, Walmart will probably carry it. And then, Amazon will obviously have it, as well as places like Bull Moose and your local video store. So, but in my opinion, this is well worth a purchase. Well worth it to upgrade your Blu-ray for sure, just because of the extra work that was done here. And if you're still watching this on DVD, you're about to have a religious experience when you watch this in 4K, because it is so good. It's an excellent movie, and it's worth supporting. If you want to keep collecting physical media and you want to support that community, this is the type of work that we're all about. You're not going to get this on streaming services with the same quality that you can get here on the physical disc. And so when filmmakers go through and spend all this time and effort, and Lionsgate spends all this money and time to put this together, those are the kind of releases that we really need to support as collectors. So hopefully you guys go out and grab that. Just a couple housekeeping things. Remember to follow me on Instagram. That's a great place to get in touch with me. I'm also always hosting giveaways and contests and showing other cool upcoming 4K releases. For example, Wizard of Oz, that was just announced as a new 4K title. I'm super excited to check that one out in a few months. And then also, you can buy some of my merchandise down on my Teespring channel, and also click through some of my Amazon links if you're interested in different things that I have in my home theater, like shelving or seating or projectors, displays. That's all. I have Amazon links to all that down in the description. If you click those, you help support the channel if you make a purchase. So I appreciate all that. Definitely check out Apocalypse Now 4K, the 40th anniversary on August 27th. Thank you to Francis Ford Coppola's PR team and Lionsgate for working with me to get this early for review. I appreciate their support of the channel, and I hope you guys have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.